You guys, I just thought I was recording this section of lesson and then I realized I wasn't recording. So now I have to talk about the notes a whole second time, and plants are so stinking boring. And I'm not excited about this. But anyway, I needed to share that because I'm so mad. Okay, we're on to page 13. We're almost done with this section. We will have a quiz on this section, and we will have some sort of test next week or so. Okay, so I guess let's get started again. Okay, so photosynthesis is the process that uses energy of the sun to convert water and carbon dioxide into sugar, glucose, and oxygen. So the plant uses sugars to produce complex carbohydrates that the plant uses as nutrients. Okay, so carbon dioxide, these are the symbols and these are the words. So 6CO2 plus 6H2O yields C6H12O6 plus 6O2. The light means that light is also added. And the words are carbon dioxide plus water makes sugar and oxygen. Okay, light energy. Plants use pigments to gather the sun's energy, and those pigments are called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll are in the chloroplast. They prefer blue, violet, and red light. They absorb that, and they reflect green light, which is why plants appear green. So this is basically just showing you the different wavelengths of light and their estimated absorption. And you can see that blue and red are the ones up here. Okay, chloroplast, site of photosynthesis. So the thylakoids are the little sac-like photosynthetic membranes, and then the grana is the stack. It looks like a stack of pancakes. The stroma is the region outside the thylakoid. Don't get that confused with stoma, which we talked about yesterday, which is the gas openings in the leaf. Okay, so this is Amoeba Sisters that I'll post for you guys to watch if you want. It goes through the light reactions and dark reactions in photosynthesis. Okay, so light-dependent reaction means it requires light. This occurs in the grana of the chloroplast, so the stacks of pancakes. It involves photolysis. So light comes in and it's going to break water down. As it breaks water down, it's going to produce oxygen and also some energetic molecules, ATP and NADPH, that are going to be used in the rest of the cycle. The Calvin cycle is the dark reaction, so the light independent reaction. This does not require light. It occurs in the stroma, so like the regions outside those pancake stacks, and involves carbon fixation. Carbon fixation is the conversion of inorganic carbon dioxide to organic compounds. So it uses the carbon from carbon dioxide to create sugar or glucose. It also uses the ATP and NADPH that was produced in this reaction, this part of the reaction, to form the sugars. Okay, so let's summarize. There's two types of reactions, light dependent and light independent. In a light dependent, they require light, and this one says no. Okay, this occurs in the pancake stacks, grana and thylakoid. This occurs in the stroma. The reactants in this one are water and light, and in this one you have carbon dioxide and the energy from this reaction, so like the ATP and NADPH that was produced. And then you have oxygen and energy being produced in the light side, and then the other side is the sugar side. Rate of photosynthesis can be influenced by water availability, temperature, and light intensity. So In terms of water, the lack of water can slow down or stop photosynthesis altogether because it's one of the reactants. So plants living in dry areas like the desert have waxy coatings to reduce water loss, so that photosynthesis can still occur. Temperature-wise, enzymes function best between 0 and 35 degrees Celsius. Enzymes above this temperature are denatured and damaged, and then enzymes at low temperatures may stop photosynthesis entirely. And then the intensity of light, increasing light intensity increases the rate of photosynthesis, so how fast photosynthesis occurs, but only to a certain point. So after this point, it's not going to go any faster. So the level at which the light intensity no longer affects photosynthesis can vary by plant type, like if it is a shade tolerant plant or something like that. All right, results of photosynthesis. To produce stable, high energy sugar and provide oxygen for the atmosphere. So if we did not have photosynthesis, no plants, we would not be able to maintain the oxygen needed in the atmosphere for us to use. And that brings us to respiration. So just to remind yourself, we're not talking about breathing here. We're talking about cellular respiration, which uses this formula. Glucose plus oxygen makes carbon dioxide plus water, and ATP energy is made. Photosynthesis is basically the reverse reaction. So carbon dioxide plus water plus sun energy, so light, makes glucose and oxygen. So these two are really related processes. Okay, so in terms of photosynthesis, the location is the chloroplast. Inputs are carbon dioxide, water, and light energy. Outputs, sugar, glucose, and the glucose is the sugar, and oxygen. And the purpose is to provide oxygen for the cells and also create sugars, which provide energy. In cellular respiration, that occurs in the mitochondria. Inputs are glucose and oxygen. Outputs are water, carbon dioxide, and energy in the form of ATP. And the purpose is to provide energy to your cells. So photosynthesis occurs only in plants because they have chloroplast. Cellular respiration occurs in plants and animals. So that's one thing I think often people think like, oh, photosynthesis occurs in plants and cellular respiration only in animals. That's not true. It occurs in everything. Okay, so this is just a picture of that cycle. So carbon dioxide and water from the atmosphere goes into the plant along with sunlight to produce glucose and oxygen, which goes into an animal, would take in the oxygen into the mitochondria to produce carbon dioxide and water. So the plants replenish our atmospheric oxygen. Okay, well, that was not too bad. Let's just go over these. Why don't you push pause and see how many of these you can answer using your notes or not using your notes, and then when you unpause it, I will go over it. So push pause now. Okay, and then so the two types of roots are tap roots and fibrous roots. The function of roots is to take in minerals and water from the soil. One function of the stem would be to provide support, but also transport. Vascular tissue would be xylem and phloem. The function of leaves is to perform photosynthesis. Source to sink means the source is where the carbohydrates are produced. So carbohydrates are produced in photosynthesis from the leaves, and then they travel to the sink in places that need that energy. So like to the flower or to the roots. Stomata are the openings in the leaves that let out that let in carbon dioxide and let out oxygen and water. Photosynthesis occurs specifically in the chloroplast, and the pigment used is chlorophyll. The inputs are carbon dioxide, water, and light energy, and the outputs are glucose and oxygen. Two reactions in photosynthesis are the light independent and the light dependent. Okay, hopefully that worked. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.